Hello and welcome everybody. Cindy here at Junkbox Studio. Let's get into it. I'm starting off with staining this image I got from clipartlibrary.com, and they have a pretty good selection of images. This one I believe was under antique labels. And so now I am just doing a dry brushing. It's just a standard acrylic white paint, the Folk Art white, and I'm going lightly just to start because I'm not quite sure how far I want to take this. And so now that we've got the canvas where we want it, here is a piece of scrap canvas. I've already pre-stained it in a coffee stain, and now I'm just going around the edges, cleaning everything up and making sure it's square enough. And so I end up pulling some of the threads off here, and that gives it a really neat fraying effect, and I always like that. Sometimes it gets a little funky, but you can clean it up and square it off pretty good. I love when they pull easy like that. That's great. And then that one got stuck, so I end up trimming that off, but yeah. And so here we go. We're gonna just lay that down. I did have the darker side, but I like the lighter side just because of everything else that's going to be going on with this piece. And so we're going to just tack it down and make sure it's even as possible. I'm going to give this a fresh coat of white paint. I've had this frame for many years, and I've always really loved it. So, you know, it's a solid wood frame, and they're kind of hard to come by with that kind of a design. So we're going to give that a fresh coat of paint. And here is that image. And I'm just going to glue that down on some chipboard. That chipboard is really great. I've been going through it quite a bit. I got that on Amazon, and it's a really sturdy backing for any images that you want to turn into cards or any kind of like vignette photos or anything. But yeah, and so now we just trace the inside of that and get that all cut out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and hot glue that down. Try to get it as even as possible. Kind of eyeball everything. Sometimes I get into trouble when I don't measure things, but yeah. And so, okay, now we are going to use the Waverly Antiquing Wax. I started out by using some coffee staining on that white frame and ended up turning it kind of yellow, so I went with the antiquing wax instead. Taking a little bit of the wax and going on the inside of that frame around the image, and Now I'm just switching back over to the coffee, and because it works well on this fabric, and I've already started staining it with the coffee, so I'll just continue along with that. Now I'm going back in with the antiquing wax around the edges and just making it look worn and old, maybe something you would find up in an attic, from 100 years ago. And I really love this part. It's a lot of fun. It's the final touches of creating that, really make for a great, it's just a lot of fun. I love it. But, you have to know when to stop. It's the number one rule with art. You can really go too far and ruin a project if you go, don't know when to stop. But yeah, so here we are. I'm taking some metal pieces, and you guys stick around because I end up making a pretty dramatic change to this piece coming right up. But for now, I am gluing those down. And I wanted to go over this frame a little bit with some more white, just because I felt like it was too brown or too yellow, and I wanted to brighten it just a little bit. And I'm just taking a little bit of glue and going over the top of the image to protect it. Okay, and so here it is. I ended up tearing that apart because I felt like it just needed a little something. And when I thought about, artwork that I've seen in the past, like some maybe Victorian that has ribbon down the middle, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So I tore everything apart, and I'm now putting in, this is just a gross grain ribbon, and it looks like it's about maybe a 1.5 inch wide ribbon. And so I'm just gluing that down. So let me know what you guys think about the new addition of the ribbon down the center. I really like it. It gives it a really neat, unique look. And I just want to thank you guys again for all your comments. I read all of them and I'm really enjoying it. I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you next time. Thank you.